Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to question. Oh my God. There we go. We weren't going to be long before that happened, was it? Wednesday Night Live, episode 3. Let's get stuck into it. After 120 odd episodes, I think that was always going to happen, weren't it? There we go. Anyway, we will still have our question time. So let's start with that one, ladies and gents. Feel free, if you're in the audience, you want to get a question in, fire it in. We will get to them. A little bit of a shorter segment video for Koi Focus tonight, so a little bit more time for everything else as well. We've had a bit of spring sunshine. I don't want to, frighten it away, but it's been a cracking few days. Very fresh this morning, mine, but the rest of the day has been lovely. I actually feel a bit of sun, which has been fantastic. Quite nice in the fish house. And I am, we're going to get to my new toy in a minute. I know I'm going to drive you mad with it, but the excitement, it's took a little while. This has been quite an emotional roller coaster for me, this one, let's say, but we're getting there and it's looking good. So quite a bit to cram in this evening. We've got the draw for the yellow monkey as well. A lot of people excited for that one. There's been a hell of a lot of entries, so that's really going to be a special winner, I think, if you get that one. But looking forward to it. Those things are just amazing. Absolutely amazing. Very pleased to stuck to the strategy as well, though, this season, and just focusing on getting the pick of the bunch from the auctions as well. The Dainichi auctions, as it was taught to me many years ago by who's now a very important member of staff there. Actually the same guy that introduced me to Takano as well. The auctions are where they put the very best koi they have available at that given time and let everybody fight it out. I think it's a great way of doing it. But my God, those monkeys have been a fight. It's the only part of the strategy that's backfired. I didn't quite know how it was going to go, but it's nothing like it was in that first year. They were quirky enough and interested enough. That's the same auction 2-3 years ago now when I was fighting for the first of the Black Zeus's as well. So, Anyway, we've got we auctioned one off the other night as well that I managed to pick up for a half decent price. I took a punt on it with a starting bid as well, but luckily that one pulled itself back in the end. Fascinating stuff, guys. Really is. But this is it. Koi often there's limited numbers of these things. Certain things, certain things you can always generally tend to get. Might be that a pattern type or whatever's quite unique, but in the case of them, few and far between. So that's all that stuff. Anyway, I can see there's plenty of questions coming in, so keep them coming, ladies and gents. And I'll cross that off. I always make myself a little list because my head generally is a complete shed. So seeing as I mentioned it, the roller coaster journey of my new toy. So it happened. It was last week. I can't remember what day. Last Thursday, actually got installed for the first time, and unfortunately, I'd waited a long time to get my hands on this, and it just didn't go to plan. We weren't really seeing any results come from it, and I was a little bit gutted, to tell you the truth, to the point where I actually turned it off on Sunday because this thing, when it's flat out, and it doesn't necessarily need to run flat out all the time, is running at just under a kilowatt of power. So it really needs to perform and deliver for me. So the guys, to be fair, have been fantastic. They come straight out on Tuesday. Oh, well, it's Wednesday today. God, it's been that many working hours already. I'm losing track. yeah, so yesterday they came and actually installed a new unit because potentially some waste got in or maybe a fault, who knows. And eventually we got it running, and I saw some nice progress yesterday, and then I had issues with the bottom drain line running into the drum, and as we were fixing it, I actually knocked the unit all out of sync. It's not actually a keep it simple bit of mantra either. This is venturing, but there's no real simple way of doing this. I think it might be the simplest, safest way, but anyway, it went out, and I was stressing. I actually phoned spreadsheet up and literally said to him, I says, you know that bloke who goes on YouTube every week telling everyone to keep it simple? I says he needs to take a bit of his own advice. I'd had a day of it, to be fair. The excitement crushed again because I was wanting to see what it'd do running all overnight to the next day. And yeah, anyway, I had to turn it off because I was about to take a sledgehammer to it. But needless to say, this morning I come fresh, and it weren't the only thing breaking that day, let me tell you. Came to it fresh this morning, got it kicked up, and my God, what I've seen happen over the course of today's been remarkable. So let's wait and see. There's more to all this. There's some short-term results and potentially long-term results, and then the balancing the energy costs, outweighing the pros and cons of all that and how much it needs to run. So very, very interesting, but yeah, a new, pretty untapped technology. Quite exciting. So, but the first time, and it might, if it don't go well, the last time you ever see me venture into anything. But for those of you out there that seem to think I'm too stubborn and stuck in my ways, if I really think it's an area, like I said last week, where I know I can get some gains and really up what we're doing by improving in that area, I'll give it a try, and I'm excited to see what this might be able to do for the broader ecosystem as well. So enough on that one, the crypticness of it as well, but all in good time. The big part of that as well, genuinely, is I am very aware that if I stand here today and go, I've got this, so far it's been fantastic, even if it's just one person might go out and just buy one, and I don't truly know over a long period of time the benefits to it, I don't want to let it out there. But I think it's exciting to know that we're looking at something. There could be something cool there. But I do understand the impact of me coming on here and all the content that I do, and how people can take it away and use it. And that's what I don't want happening until I'm 100% certain it's even something to really talk about. Early signs, however, quite exciting. So we'll see what's happened by the morning on that one. So we can cross that off my list. What else have we got here? Oh, yeah. So before we even get to it, someone points it out. For those of you that see, I've still not fixed the auction overlay either, unfortunately. So the bids are still going to cover my nice little bit of work. But to be fair, Aaron has been working like an absolute demon on so much stuff and what we're trying to get done. So this is a little one that keeps slipping through. But I'm sure someone will like to point it out because it makes my OCD twitch. Yes, and if you're on the Telegram group, you'll see that work is well underway on the new building. So reverted back to let's call it plan A, because I was on plan B. So we're back to plan A with the wood frame structure that's going to have the corrugated sheet and clear roof all on it. So loads of work getting hit up on that tomorrow. But I think by Friday, we're hoping to actually have the whole structure in place. Plumbers are on site next week. Sheeting's here next week. It's going to be a very, very fun one. And I think it's going to be a just in time in relation to actually needing that for the fish coming. So nice to see it, though. It looks a bit of a beast with the upright posting, that is for sure. And tonight's Koi appreciation. So Koi Focus is a Koi appreciation one. I've gone with that. I thought we'd not really done, I'll say, mass amounts on specific varieties. We did the Kiwa and Sashi one in episode 1, but yeah, a bit of a split one. So it's actually a snippet from a video we've actually filmed today. The full one, again, is going to be airing on the channel on Sunday. So it might not make, we made it flow as best we can. It might not make perfect sense, but you'll get to see the whole shebang on Sunday. But this evening, there's a snippet on NND Marusho Sanke and I thought it's about time we got a deeper, more focused look at the new type golden corn. Nothing new to this year. I had these last year, but we didn't really do any in-depth content covering them. So that's a nice touch. I'm going to get you educated, ready for the ones I've got coming, which are going to be very, very exciting. And last one, ladies and gents, if you haven't got it already, I do still have some NND calendars remaining. They're the fantastic big ones, same as the one over my shoulder. You can get them. The link is in the video description for you to purchase one of them. And I do believe every order we've had so far has gone out already. So the last of them was yesterday, I think. So you should have all those by now. Fingers crossed. Other than that, I think I should probably get stuck into a few questions, ladies and gents. Oh, there's one last one. I've missed it. Look, if you even made a listen, I've missed it. So just another project we're working on. There's going to be a full video on the channel for this. I've got a journal episode actually dropping tomorrow as well, which is about the Asagi Grow Out event we're going to be doing. Excited for that. Not everybody's going to be, but it's with the Otsuka ones. Not easy to find Otsuka Asagi, and I think all in with this price point as well. This is going to be an exciting one, so look out for that. But something we have been working on here is because the requests we've had for this since or for a long time, to be honest, but now since the new retail ventures and Koi Online, batches of Tosai. So we have been putting it together because one of the arrivals coming next week is a fantastic batch from Saito. If you followed him, you know the weird and wonderful and everything he does. So we've got all of Saito's Tosai this year. And this first batch that's coming over, we're actually going to be doing some Tosai boxes on. So this is a concept we've pieced together, bringing some mechanisms through for our wholesale through. We've got a few ways we're going to do this throughout the year. This initial box is all around value and getting you the best value by getting some of these concepts. So if you've got a grow on pond or you want a nice little batch to stick in your pond this year, it's going to be a fantastic opportunity. So what we're going to do with this is set up a waiting list until we put it all together. When that's done, we'll stick it in the Koi Online WhatsApp group. And you can, there's a links to all that stuff in the description as well. But I think it's going to be pretty cool, really focused on, you know, breeder focus, variety focus, things like that, as well as some mixed batches. And the way we're going to work these through over time is going to be great for you to get access to these kinds of Tosai at really fantastic prices. So happy days. Right, let's, without any more yabbering, let us get on with question time.
Right, class.
Has that got old yet? Episode 3? I hope not, because that took a lot of work. Anyway, I suppose I should actually start by seeing who's with us this evening. First of all, let's fire through a few of them, and then we'll get stuck into some questions. Oh, Denmark, happy days. It's really amazing. The amount of people from the States tuning in at the minute is quite remarkable as well. Feeling lucky, ready for that yellow monkey draw. I must say as well, you're all being very, very well behaved and restrained with the football banter at the minute, which is bad. Well, obviously, there's no point in football banter at the minute because the season finished a couple of months ago, didn't it? I think. Just wait, ready for next year now. Oh dear. So many. We're nearly at 200 people tuned in again. Absolutely amazing. There we go. I get lost in all that in the end. So let me scroll back up and a couple more there. Look. Yeah, that was a cracking episode. That I think it's just such a big subject. So I thought it was worthwhile tackling. Right, let's get stuck in. First one from Richard Papworth. How much difference in age could there be between Tosai and Nisai from different farms? Could one farm spawn 2 months later than another farm, so their Tosai 2 months younger? How big could the gap be? Yeah, I think you're about right there. So generally, you could start spawning normally May through to August. Some breeders do what's known as a second crop spawning as well. That is your ones that are later on. That could be around July, August time. But yeah, I think realistically, we're probably talking, a 2 month gap potentially from one to the other. Maybe getting closer to 3, but that could have a real profound impact on the size they're harvested at. As Tosai. So like those big NND Tosai Kohaku, they're going to be an early spawning. And then at that point as well, they give them every opportunity to grow. But if you spawn in August, late July, early August, the best you're going to hope to do there is get them stable before you harvest them and push them on in fish house a bit. So, however, we keep saying this, and I keep saying this anyway, that's not going to affect. There's still so much in the process there, just because that difference in size over the 2 months, it might at the very, very top end of things affect a centimetre or two. All it's generally going to mean is, remember, the governance is ultimately the female parent, and then the bloodline that the female parent comes from is what's going to be size limiting, the most limiting factor. So, if the capacity is there to get to 90 cm, might it take it 6 months, a year longer? Who knows? Yes, maybe, but the fish has got to be right. It's got to have a parent fish capable, and then from that further, the bloodline has got to have history of producing it as well. So I hope that answers that for you, Richard, and just gone into that one a bit further. Also, forgot tonight's auction. If you've not seen it on WhatsApp already, I've got one of my male collection Dainichi Mona Lisa showers, 60 cm, starting bid of £500, which I can see someone nicking a bargain there, to be fair. And then was Saito, since I mentioned him, one of his Ginrin Matsukawa Baki that comes from his Kurashigoi bloodline, but we will talk more about that when we get to it. Right, let me find our next question. Why are 1-year-old called Tosai, not Ichisai? Yeah, it's a complicated one. It's more to do with the fact they're not actually a year old. The summers, seasons, Japanese love all this type of stuff. That's why. And then when it gets to Nisai Sanzai, there should really be a continuation or something like that. Tosai is generally like first year is the meaning of it. But even when they're at Nisai, generally the Nisai and they're 18 months old, they're not actually 2 years. But this is one that goes on and on and on. And to be honest, I've never even delved that much into it because I'm just that used to doing it. But yes, it is that. You are correct, because Isai, Ichisai, you are right. Ichi and one, it's 1 year, but it's actually Isai, they call it. Then you go Nisai, Sansai, Yonzai. So this is just the Japanese. They've actually got counting systems for different objects as well. Honestly, it's crazy. Like the ways you can say one of, depending on what it is and the situation and all that. It's mind-boggling. So yeah, best of luck with all that one. But good question, that one, Daniel. Lee Taylor, evening all, Ricky. What's the benefits of conditioning koi, and what's the best temperature? Currently at 25 degrees in the grow, and I've got some sake balance arriving tomorrow. Yeah, Lee, so I'd say you want to benefits of conditioning. I mean, it's good to give them a rest. You don't need to be pushing them all the time unless they've had. You want about 6 to 7 months of decent growing, in my opinion, to really max them out if that's what you're trying to do. Then ease off it. So you want to be coming down, really, I think, down to 18. The thing with conditioning is you don't want to be feeding too much. You want to get that down so you can start conditioning shrouds. You let the colour catch up and sort of consolidate where it might be a bit stretched. And the problem is, if you get the water too warm when you're trying to do that, they're going to burn off the mass that they're built up while you've been growing them too quickly, because they're just going to be burning too much energy. So down to 18 gradually, get them on your balance and just sit them there. They'll super active still, but it's just that opportunity for everything then to catch up, get them off the grow food onto the balance, and you'll bring that white skin up. You should get a bit more of an edge on your pigment, and away you go. But that's the benefits to it longer term as well. Really letting them rest off. I only push them through winter when I've not hit size goals, or there's been elements in the summer where I've not had the consistency that I wanted, because that prolonged period's quite important. But most of the ponds now I'm looking at, well, a couple are getting to the point where that heat's going to get cranked right down, and they're going on a diet. So I know you're familiar with koi and fancy goldfish. Do you do anything different to grow koi or fancies, or do you treat them the same? So with the tamasaba, if we're referring to them as well, take them out. I pretty much treat the tamasaba like koi, to be honest with you. Although this year's I've not been feeding as intensively. Certainly with the females, one that was seeming to really over egg and cause issues. So I've changed that. But yeah, other fancy goldfish, no, I've never really raised other fancies. I've kept them. I've had them in aquariums and bits and bobs, and my dad's still massively into them now. But I don't think they can tolerate the feeding the same as what we do. I mean, in Thailand, there's a lot of live food used and stuff like that. Nutrition with them is ultra important. But I would separate fancy goldfish in my head from tamasaba, because fancy goldfish I pretty much consider to be tropical fish, in all honesty. When you see, they'll tolerate colder water, but it's just not the same. When you see them in Thailand, they're barely out of 30-degree water, you know. So where they're at, and if there's ever any issues, breeders out there just tend to say, oh, warm it up. What temperature is your water? 22. So you need to warm it up. Too cold. That's tropical fish temperatures. So, and it seems to be where they thrive and do the best. But yeah, not really kept them and pushed them that much. When I was buying fancy goldfish, to be fair, I was buying them big already, because I was fascinated by big goldfish. So there wasn't really that much more to do. I was just enjoying them either in the pond where they were or the aquarium. Yeah, and tamasaba, like I say, pretty much treat them like the koi. Evening all. Ricky, can you talk through your biochamber, please, mate? In the process of building another new pond and looking to do something similar. They are, right, as basic as a biochamber gets, right? You're going to love this one. I've shared some pictures in the past. So when I installed ours, it was all generally a retrofit job. So you're already struggling there. And there are design flaws to this one, which I can talk you through as well, how I'd improve them. But yeah, generally we've got a 4-inch inlet from the drum. We've got a pipe that we grinded slits into. So it's the whole pipe. It's not got much structural integrity to allow the water flow. I think it's about 12 to 18 inches long, that one. That's on the inlet. The slits are just wide enough to stop the K1 going back through it. And then in the bottom, we've got the airing that's made from the LPD tubing. So in the chambers that we've got, it's rectangular, it's 3 bars. And the bit I can't add the spec on, and this is important, I use that rather than the airstone because it gives better distribution of the air. And as it was explained to me by Jasper EA when I was doing it at the time, first mistake I made with that was drilling too many holes and drilling them too big, thinking get loads of air through, it'd be fantastic. In the end, he had me drilling less holes and drilling them to a certain size, which created a bigger bubble, which was actually more powerful to shift the media. And that worked a treat. And what that does is that allows me to really balance it through the chamber, because I hate flat spots. If you've got a flat spot in a fluid bed, to me, you're losing performance. So that's what that is. And that, believe it or not, is just cable tied to some house bricks. Yes, you've got it, house bricks. And that weights that down, keeps that in position perfectly. And then also sat in that chamber is the pump that is demounted and attached to a drilled pipe that we've got in there as well, as a suction inlet into the pump, and then straight back out from there. That's it. In our case, the stainless steel heat exchanger coils then also sit in that chamber at the same time. And that is the extent of it. The bit you need to get right is you can get better performance from them the deeper they are. I think around 1.2 meters is really optimal. I can't remember why that is. It's something to do with oxygenation that Jasper taught me. It was a long time ago. Mine in them ponds, they are about that depth, but I've got them at just a meter that probably actually run at 2.5 feet, to be honest, in the 1,200-gallon ponds. The principle in them ones is exactly the same as well. Bits I would improve. I want the pump external. I couldn't do it any other way with what we had, but I would want the pump external to that. So drawing just outside the chamber, connected through the wall, that would be a lot better. Obviously, if ever there's a pump issue, we have to strip it all down and it's a pain in the arse, but that is what it is. The chamber's actually lined as well, but it's lined with folds that were taped, but there is some where K1's got stuck behind it. Not loads of shit, bearing in mind. I think that's what people be thinking. There never really seems to be. But the whole thing works. It functions. It's super basic and simplistic, and there's not masses of cost involved. They were all blocked up. The big ones have got 500 litres of K1. There is capacity for more in there. The small ones have got 300 litres. You work out, I can't remember again the ratios for K1 either in that chamber. But yeah, I mean, the ones on the 3.5K ponds are vast. They're a pond really in their own right. But it works a treat. So I hope that's worked for you, Graham. What I would say as well is I'd probably look at better, like the inlet of the pump we could improve and the outlet pipes, but all is what it is. It was a retrofit job. And again, when we're doing these things, we have a budget to work to. And that's exactly what we did. So does the job? Absolutely does the job. I don't like using air stones like come in most drum bio chambers because they are too concentrated and they generally tend to create flat spots all around the outside of the chamber. Which you might be able to help by actually turning that down, to be honest with you. Sometimes they're just too ferocious. Right, let's have a look. And afternoon all, I have 3 different Sekiguchi show that have developed perfectly round, colourless holes in their Benny plates. Wow. Is this the bloodline, my husbandry, or food? 4,500 gallon pond. I feel like I need to see a picture of that, Anne, because that sounds very peculiar. If you want to WhatsApp me a picture or something, I'll have a look for you. But I feel right now I'm not going to be giving good advice because it's a hard one for me to visualize. Very, very strange with you saying holes in the Benny. Feel free to send it. We can always touch upon that next week and see where we get. To put a shower or to put it into degas, which would be better? Peter, can you expand on that for me a little bit? I mean, if we're talking, you get a degassing effect from a shower anyway. And if you're putting it up, you might as well put media in there as well. So and you'll get the benefit of all of it. If I've got that wrong and you want to expand on it, feel free to come back to me on that one. Is every week's favorite question. Ian, have you tried complete pond detox? And if so, what do you think about it? No, I haven't. Not something I feel like I need to use right now. So I'm not just going out doing it. I'm not desperate to make any content about it either or anything like that. So I really can't add any value on that one, guys. Like I say, I'm only ever looking for stuff that I think can fix any problems or issue or any room for improvement that I've got. You're never going to find me making content just because everyone else seems to be hot on it. I wish I could provide some more value, but it's just not. I'm not into wasting my time or money on things I just don't feel like I need. Oh, David's got it. Look, that's the one, guys. Don't forget, hit that like button, especially. Really does help the video with the distribution. And just with a bit more info on that. And like I say, get me some pictures because that's going to make that a lot easier. I don't just like guessing because it might be very, very bad advice. But if I see it, more than likely I've probably seen it and it'll make sense and we can go from there. Koi Boy WhatsApp group links are all in this video description to all of them. Adrian, can you cycle a pond at 12 degrees or is it a waste of time? cycling it and getting it out the other end might take you a very long time. So cycling it with fish in there, I don't like the idea of it, to be honest with you, Adrian. 12 degrees, your filter's not, there'll be some response, but my God, it's going to be really, really minimal. So, I mean, something's probably better than nothing, but just be very, very careful, especially with the food. If it's a few fish going into a new pond, don't even really think about feeding them. That'll be the worst thing that you can do until we get a bit more warmth, and then you can really slowly play with it. Because you might actually find in doing that, the fish load alone might not actually really trigger anything. Gaz, can a chibi Nisai really make up the growth when being held back to the same potential of a Tosai? Yes, Gaz, 100%. I think if you look back on the channel, I actually did this with Okawa Shirotsuori. They were by autumn, September, October time, they were chibi Nisai that were 12 to 15 centimeters still. I'd had them for since April, I think, sat in a 400-gallon QT pond, as we call them, doing nothing, and then I threw them in to the growing pond for a specific winter growing, and they were the same size as all the other Nisai by that point. We've also seen, it's not so much chibi Nisai, but smaller fish. When I've done the Sakai fish, the batch the year before last, so we had pieces amongst them that were struggling to compete in the intense environment, competitive environment. And by isolating them, they were a lot smaller. And by isolating them, giving them their own conditions, in the end, they actually got fed back into the pond where the original ones were and ended up being the same size. So I keep saying with this, there does come a point where Nisai is not really the one, but if then at 3-year-old, there's really not been much growth and movement there, I do see at that point that the bone structure kind of sets a little bit. And then when you do try and push a fish like that, yes, there'll be lost growth, because what will tend to happen is they'll start gaining more weight and probably getting a bit fattier. So it is important. If you're doing it, you can make them up from Nisai quite easily, depending when, what, and all the rest of it. And what you can tend to find is even if you take them right through to being a full 24-month-old small Nisai, through that summer in the right conditions, they can have a much bigger burst of growth, and that burst can actually continue on for longer as well. But it's all about how you're going to raise them from that point onwards. If you get it small, you don't do a lot with it the next year, yeah, likelihood is it's going to be lost for sure. And then after that, you're going to struggle truly getting the full potential out of it. Male fish, a little bit different with the body management. But yes, 3 years old onwards, if it's still super small, there's going to be lost opportunity. And no, you've not missed the monkey prize draw. We are going to get to that soon. Apparently, the link to the calendar is no longer valid. I will check that, guys, when I'm done. Anyway, 32 minutes in. I suppose I should probably wrap it up. Stuart, got a used Nexus 220 filter. What's the best way of cleaning a used filter, and would you replace the old media? You just want to make sure it's sterile. If it's dried out, if it's been properly dried out for a long time, it's all dead. So don't worry about it. It's gone. If you want to use anything, Vircon's a fantastic and safe disinfectant to use. It's probably the one I would go for actual disinfection. You could just fill the unit up with a strong dose of it, drain it off, rinse it through, and job's a good one. But if it's dry and it's been dry, properly dry for a long time, it's job done. There's nothing else there alive. Right, I'll tell you what, what shall we do next? I think, shall we do Koi Photo? I'll tell you what, I'm going to keep you stringing along a bit more. Let's go with Koi Focus. We'll wrap this one up. And yeah, I'll get everything set for the draw after that. So, yes, on from that one, we have got... let's have a look. Let me just get this right. Yes, Koi Appreciation one, ladies and gents. And I think this is going to be a good one. But please remember, this is a mashup cut out of Sunday's full feature video. There's a couple of bits either side of it you're going to get as a bonus one on Sunday, and I'm sure you won't mind watching this bit again anyway, because some absolutely epic fish. There's a point in it I do reference, because when I started, I said that all the fish I'm going to show you today would actually be available. Then as I got through it, like an absolute knobhead, I realised that most of the fish I was using were actually already customers' fish. But there is a couple of them. The 2 Sankes are available, and one, the Kiyosagi. What a fish that is. But without giving too much more away, kind of did all that a bit back to front, didn't I, really? I should have played that, then had a natter about it and played the video. So without making you wait anymore, let us enjoy this one and see what you think to it. If you've got any questions as we're going along, fire them in. I can reply to the comments as we're watching it, but at the same time, we can also have a quick natter about it at the end. Enjoy, ladies and gents. So, 2 pieces NND Marusho Sanke. First of all, we've got a little clip here of the day these fish arrived coming out of the bag. Check it out. It was absolutely nuts to see that. They were Tosai at the time, very young. These are now, where we at? Say February. So we're about 22 months old now on these, and they've been raised in a combination of the 1200 gallon and the 3,500 gallon ponds that I've got. 1 male, 1 female. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a look at the male fish first. Super highly attractive pattern on this one. Size wise, it's coming in at 52 cm. Absolutely bang in line with how they would be raised at NND in the mud pond. Volume wise, it's right there as well. So what we're going to look at first on this one, to be honest with you, is the pattern. I think it's its absolute most attractive quality. As we look at the pattern, it's highly technical. It's very well balanced. There's Subo Sumi where it's sat on the shoulder. There's Kasane Sumi where it's sat on the benny as well. And it's just very, very nicely distributed across the whole benny pattern. And the benny pattern's also well balanced and distributed on the whole body. The 2 of them working in absolute harmony. So now we're on to skin quality. We're going to look here at the Kiwa, the Sashi, and actually the quality of the benny and the Sumi as well. So you can see on this, it's got the Maruzomi style of Kiwa, we actually spoke about in our previous video. Really, really nice, refined all over the pattern, which is fantastic to see. And the sashes are really great depth, very, very light actually across the whole pattern, which is also fantastic to see. When we look at the benny, it's already got a vivid hue, but what we can see if we get in on the scales is really, really, the pigment is loaded up, so we're going to get a much richer hue of benny on this over time. It just needs chance for that scale to spread, the pigment to spread in the scale. And the Sumi is still refining, so we'll get to see there's areas where it's still sat down a bit bluey grey. That's all actually progressing through and coming down. I'm just going to show you a couple of edges where it looks a little bit messy at the minute, and it's going to get more refined. And finally, the important one, the body. So it is a male fish, yes. NND Sanke have the capability to produce some very big bodied and big growing male fish as well. You can see with this one, and I've always said it, don't forget, it's all about the bone structure, and I love the bone structure of this fish. We can see it's got a very strong head, that's important. I love the distribution and shape of the pec fins, which tells me as well the kind of end looking result I'm going to get from the fish. Backbone's very prominent, and there's good height forming behind the head as well. And there's just superb length to the body. It's very muscular throughout, and there's a nice thick peduncle at the end. Not forgetting the peduncle, very important. And yeah, I love it. So it just tells me that in the right conditions, it's going to continue to grow well in length, and also just nicely increase the volume to make a powerful fish as well. Areas for improvement in this fish. Right now, the Shiroji is not the best, but that's just a conditioning thing. These are still in a growth environment with quite a lot of colour food. That would be very easy to clean up. Even as a male fish, I expect this to reach a high level of Shiroji. And it's not really a major thing, but the tejime in the fins is just starting to form, and that will add a nice balance to the fish eventually. It's just started showing in one. I anticipate it will show in the other, but all that just needs time, and the Shiroji is literally just a conditioning thing. So other than that, very exciting prospect for the future. Piece number 2, the female piece, very, very different in almost every respect. In its pattern style, a bit more traditional, a bit more probably Japanese favoured actually, the way this one's becoming structured. Yeah, body, very, very different as well, especially the head. It's going to have a completely different setup, this one. So let's delve into some of the technicalities of it. And just for reference, I'm going to start with the pattern again and where that's at. So this one, like I say, much more traditionally Japanese. It's actually got less sumi overall going on than the piece we looked at previously. And it's got bigger, heavier blocks. Now that is generally preferred in Japan, but that's mainly because of the refinement. It's actually got a higher sumi level, quality of sumi level than the previous fish. Even though that was good, this is a notch up, and we're going to see that later when we look at Kiwa and Sashi and the skin as to why that is. But yeah, what I like is it's just still, we're looking at it, it's very nicely balanced throughout the pattern. There's just a little bit less of it, but in bigger blocks, as I say. Styles there really becomes a personal preference, but this style would be favoured more in Japan than the other one. Now, the rest of it, the Benny pattern is still well balanced, but it's just a simple knead and two-step pattern on there. Traditional kind of U-shaped head pattern, sat nicely on the top of the head as well. But as we can see, it's got a very, very kind of deep odome at the back, but that combined with the more powerful peduncle and body it's got is making the whole thing look more prominent. Right, time for the skin. So to me, I think the whole skin quality level on this fish is a notch up, and this is where it's really nitpicking, and the difference between them ones that can become real potential show winners. Now, it's probably because also it's actually a little bit more developed, so we've got to bear that in mind. There's still a lot of pigment, but it's a lot thicker already, with more pigment to come. However, you can see the overall shine on it all is really fantastic. The sumi quality, in regards to its shine, it's not its best today. It's slightly overcast with a bit of mucus. But what I'm looking at again is that kiwa throughout the whole fish. Really, really nicely refined. And then I'm also looking at the kiwa of the sumi. But the bit giving me the indicator on the quality of the sumi is the amount of sashi that it has. I've spoke about this before, but that sashi that it's got is an indicator of its depth. And that's what's also leading to the refinement we see on this as well. It's got very highly refined kiwa to the sumi, which that is what creates this overall look of quality and cleanliness to the whole fish. Sashi wise on the Benny, a little bit deeper than the last fish, but it's consistent, and that's what I really want to see. So as you can imagine, the bit really tying me in with this piece is that body. We can see it's just set, it's a more powerful fish overall. The volume it's carrying on the shoulders is really quite Sakai-esque, probably coming through there. But for me, it all starts with the head. It's got a real wide head, looking quite gnarly as well. We can see it's starting to get them creases above both eyes. This is going to look fierce as it gets bigger, and it will get some size. It's at 49 cm at the minute. It's no slouch, but really there's so much to come from all those aspects of it. And it then combines, that thickness continues right at the end at the peduncle, where there's real thickness and height to it as well. Very exciting, and can't wait to see this one in another year. So to end, if this was a sales video, it would have been absolutely terrible, because 2 out of 3 of these are already customers' fish. I needed them for this example, however, so I do apologise about that. But the purpose was for learning. Oh, that's why they're in here. Now, forgive me, because they have just had a bit of a thrash around in the sock, and it's just caused a couple of bits of damage. Say damage, it's just roughed a couple of scales up, nothing major on these. But there's going to be more to come on this. The reason there's going to be more to come, this is the future, the evolution of golden corn right now. I've got a phenomenal batch of these heading to the UK, which will be available for you this year, likely with some growing options as well, because this next generation, basically the non-Ginrin type, but it's producing all sorts from it. And what we've got here, we've got the type that's like, they've been called Kimatsuba. I can see why, but they're really actually not. It's difficult, but they're very much golden corn because of the breeding and the lineage and the pedigree behind them. We then got the original type corn, the non-Ginrin version, and then, which I've been loving, a Kiyosagi, and this is a super one. All coming from golden corn. Now, when these arrived earlier this year, they were, I think, no, actually 12 to 18 cm. Bit of a weird, right, but bit of a weird range, but that is just bonkers. So I'm not going to get into too many technicalities. We'll just look at these as an overview, and you can get to see what they're all about. But the Koi Asagi are very exciting. Yellow Asagi, I never thought I'd see the day, and you know, he's producing numbers of them as well. But the big thing you get with all these is they're very closely linked to the original kind of earlier lines of golden corn. So back in that breeding, not forgetting, there was a huge Chagoi and lots of Asagi blood, and I think that's what's coming through here. But these are real lean, mean growing machines. It's ridiculous. These are all female fish in the bowl. You'll see a couple of differences in body lines as well, but size, 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 size. So easy for them. There we go. How was that for you? Hope there was something from that. Like I say, stay tuned. The very, very full video of that. Yeah, Koi Asagi, Susan, you're right. The full video is coming this Saturday, Sunday. I can't remember when we've got it scheduled for. Anyway, but well worth it. Bit of a Saito bit slipped in there. If you're eagle-eyed at the beginning, you might have saw that on the intro. Yeah, they were stunning things to look at, and a bit of metallic Muji mono to assess as well. Just seen a quick one in there from Andre. Andre, best way to get in touch, if you the links, if you get onto WhatsApp or Telegram using the links in the description, you will be able to find me there to drop me a DM, mate. So we can go from there. Right, I'm not going to make you wait any longer. Let's, so long as you promise me that once it's done, I don't see them numbers fall off because you've all buggered off. When I'm going to try and sell you a couple more fish. So I suppose we should get this draw done, shouldn't we? Hopefully this is going to work. Let's have a look. Oh, tell you what, that got rid of my face then. Don't want to be doing that, do we? That view. There we go, look. So they're all loaded in. There's a lot of entries, as you will see on there, 401 altogether. That's been a super, super popular contest for that one. I've used the shuffle function on there as well to really mix the list up to make it absolutely as fair as I possibly can. Thank you for everyone who's participated. While ever these are a good success, I will keep banging some fantastic fish in there. I do think the concept is a great way to potentially get something, a collection, a fish for your collection that might otherwise be unattainable. So, yeah, in that respect, obviously, unfortunately, there's a lot of people don't win, but yeah, best of luck, everyone. So I've just got to drop out of this screen to get this spinning, and let's see what happens. I'll put it on a bit of a slower spin as well to torture everybody. So, good luck, and let's see where we get. Treacherous. Oh, getting close. Can't actually see. It's going to be a right old surprise. Mr. JM Asprey. There we go. Congratulations. Very, very well done. If you're not tuned in, we are going to announce that one over on the WhatsApp group as well and get in touch with the winner directly. Fantastic. Well done. And let's see what we can get lined up for that one soon. I've got plenty of stuff, so I'm sure it won't be difficult. Anyway, I suppose it's about time that we moved on to the last part, because where we are, no, we're not doing too bad. 10 to 8 there. Yeah, a couple of absolute bangers lined up, different ones as well. So, get me straight. Let's have a look. There we go. Wrong one. Oh, God, honestly, I'm going to get sacked.
On a roll of aluminum here with your sale now. Get 25, get 10, get 5. Somebody get $5 here. On the aluminum here. Everybody get 5 too. And $2 a 3. You gotta be 3 to bid, 3 to short.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, I better flip all my screens around, make sure I've done all this properly as well. So, shove me up there a minute. Honestly, if you saw what was going on here when I'm trying to get all this one up. There it is, look. So, the first one up. We're going to run it like last week. That seemed to go really, really well. Yeah, we will run it on the 10-minute timer on my phone. And remember what... I should get the Japanese auction voiceover. Yeah, what I'll probably do, Luke, to be honest with you, is record one the next time, and we'll go from there, mate. When I'm there next. Yeah, so 10-minute timer, and we go with what I see on my screen at the end of it. And bear in mind, it lags around 30 seconds-ish, 30 to 60 seconds before I get to see it. So bear that in mind, all you snipers out there. What I'm going to do again this evening is include overwintering free of charge with both lots, because they are in very, very cold ponds. Yes, fantastic. And yeah, they'll remain there. So they're actually very movable as well at any point. Right, what I'm going to do, get the timer ready. Oh, just for a run through for anybody who might be new to this, you just get to bid in the comments. So fire away in there. That's absolutely, it just comes up on the screen. And at the end of it, if you are successful, we'll run the banner with the details for you to get in touch with us. You can reach out on WhatsApp, Telegram, or email in, and we'll sort all the details out from there. And there is full payment options available on everything. Our invoices have access to PayPal and all their facilities, any cards, and Klarna as well. So yes, I see a few questions going on about I'll say family related stuff in there, which I don't really want to talk about, so we'll leave that one. But my brother runs independent of me, and there's no two completely separate entities, and we'll leave that one there, ladies and gents, if you don't mind. Right, anyway, timer. Before we get into the fish as well, so I don't overdo it with that one. 10 minutes on the clock, starting now. So 200 start bid. We're going to go for £10 increments on this one. If you are wanting to bid, now these are a wacky and wonderful variety. Before I get into the fish, I want to talk about the bloodline on these first and foremost, because this fantastic line created from Saito, this comes from a spawning of an 80+ centimeter Karashigoi. Yes, Ginrin Karashigoi, actually, that was crossed with a couple of Matsukawa Bakis from, that he said originated somehow from some Sakai Mango pedigree. I still need to ask him a bit more on that one, to tell you the truth. But those genetics are packed in, and it really is an interesting pool. As for the rest of the fish, yes, these do change quite a bit. This one's come a long way from where it was. It was pretty much a plain white fish, really, really deep sumi quality. They're going to get on there, and you can see it changing now. Sumi underlying on the skin. And on the head. My God, with these, I've had some crazy patterns on them. The ones I've had Kanoko style coming up, absolutely bonkers. They're a hell of a journey. You can see from the side shot on that one as well, that grey patch that's coming through. Crazy. It's got a very nice body setup to it as well. You can see, even as a male, it's got a powerful looking head, wide face. That definitely comes from that Ginrin Karashi parent in it. But the sumi quality is absolutely banging. You can really see that in the pec fins on the Motoguro. That's very, very strong. And that's generally when you use that as an indicator to see where the rest of the Sumi catches up to. So, yeah, that's really as the part of the. I'm not gonna lie, with these, you just kind of have to strap in and enjoy the journey with them overall. But all I can say is they are absolutely packed with quality. And yeah, say starting bid 200. I was curious with this one whether it'd do it for anybody, but having seen some of the results of the other Saito, Paul, is there anything Saito doesn't do? Yeah, quite a lot. But what honestly, it's one of the things I love about the place, because whenever you go, and because I can communicate with him as well, it's really, really great. He's always got something interesting that he's done with the parent fish or the bloodline or where it originated from. And I love all that stuff. And it makes a big difference, you know. Matt's Gimri, Matt's Kawabaki, you get from other places. Not many of them have been produced from an 80-odd centimetre Ginrin Karashigoi. It's remarkable to see, in all honesty, how he gets to these, like with the Ginrin Makashi, the Shunku, his Goshka line is actually one I've never quizzed him on. I know they do incredibly well, but I've never actually quizzed him on any of that. So, yeah, hell of a piece. Oh, there we go. Ray's decided she's going to give that one a shot. I think she felt sorry for me then. Was that the case, Ray? Tell me if it was. We got 6.5 minutes on this one. Like I say, guys, £10 increments and no charge for the overwintering until the end of March. Also, any fish in our care, Susan, sorry, how does that even happen? Which bit? Sorry. Yeah, while they're in our care, full life guarantee as well. Should, in the rare instance, that needs to be called upon as well, we'll just give you a credit with no offer replacement fish, just to reuse as and when you want to. Come on, Susan. Right. Oh no, it's a sympathy bid. I don't mind, you know, if they don't sell. I just get to sit on them for longer. All that'll happen with that one is I'll sit on it another month. It'll come back, look probably completely insane, and it'll be a £500 start bid. I'm not worried. But thank you anyway, if that was the case. I do appreciate that. Getting a Max Kawabaki out of that parent. Yeah, Susan, that's because they were crossed with two small male Gimri and Max Kawabakis as well. So generally you'll get that out of the mix. What I have seen, and I've got an absolute crazy one that a client bought that's not really developed any Sumi yet, but it's developed red Kanoko. So you kind of get the two sides to it. And what happens with this is I've had some of these where they have had a bit of Benny sat beneath the Sumi as well. And that is that Karashigoi element coming through in them. Very, very interesting. Let's say some of the quirkiness it's thrown has been phenomenal. I remember when I was buying these the first time, Revo didn't realize it started. Yes, it started. Feel free to get your bid in. We're at 200. We've got 4.5 minutes left. Yeah, so I've lost track of that. Yeah, I literally saw them. He told me about them, and I was just buying these white, absolutely filling up from these white Matsukawabakis, and look where we've got so far. They've been a crazy success. Paul in there now at 210. Still an absolute steal. We're just about to hit the 4-minute mark on this one. And yeah, we'll see what comes in this year from Saito. The pond looks good again. Let's say we've got the whole lot, and they're going to be the first batch with these new Tosai boxes that we're going to do. So stay tuned on that one. I think they're going to be super popular. Paul, 210. Yeah, look, like we're at sympathy bid, Ray, was it? There we go. Let's see where we go with this one. But yeah, just a cracking variety. Saying not everyone's bag. The Ginrin quality as well. I've not even mentioned that. Absolutely superb depth to the Ginrin on that. You do just have to wait and see with the pattern. And that's why some people aren't a fan, because you don't quite know where they're going to end up. Ricky, would Matsukawabaki be thrown away in years gone by? No, I know I have mentioned that, but no, they have been one that people have actively been trying to produce and have actively produced, where you just get different variants of bloodlines from them. Matsukawa Baki, I actually know one breeder who was trying to use that to produce Ginga. Actually breeding Matsukawa Baki with Kajaku, or Benny Kajaku, to try and make Benny Ginga. They get up to absolutely all sorts, but what they are, some Matsukawa Baki, not so much Ginrin ones, tend to have quite interesting heritages, which can be quite useful, certainly from a growth perspective as well. So we're at 2-3-5 with Paul on this one. 2.5 minutes to go. So I'm just reading a question there from Paul. Another question, Ricky, with the Shunku, which are classed as the best ones, or are they still working that one out? No, they're not working it out. It's just the offspring. I kind of figured that out. Obviously, there's been a lot come off of it. Other varieties. The actual the Shunku in its purest form is the silvery platinum base with the yellow color, and that I still do have a collection of those sat on site, just watching and seeing what goes off. And they are slowly developing that yellow Kanoko. We've got 1 minute 45 seconds, guys. Paul's getting a bargain here at 2-3-5. Yeah. So, and then the other stuff, but it's the attributes that they get. We've seen the darker one. The darker one's not the preferred choice. That looks a little bit more like a Kogani Achiba, but honestly, I've had some absolutely stunning ones of them as well. And then you get more of the Mujimono varieties, Mukashi Ogun, Nezu Ogun, bits like that, which all have the coloration, the unique colorations coming through from this whole spawning mix that he's done. Just getting into the last minute. We're at 235 on this one. Don't forget there is a lag if you want to throw a last minute bid in. Other than that, right now, Paul, it looks like you're on to a winner. I won't speak too soon for you. Oh, Ray's fired one in there, look. Oh, 2-3-5. Sorry, Ray. I'm increments of a tenner. So we're going to need 2-4-5 from you on that one. If you're going for it, we're at 35 seconds. Should try and get that on the screen as well, to be fair. We're going for it, Ray. We have got 20. Oh, there we go. 2-4-5. Going to hear that horrible timer very, very soon as well. Ball 2-5-5. Got my eye on that screen. There it is. So as I've got that on my screen, Paul, congratulations on that one, 2-5-5, and feel free. Details are on the bottom there. Just reach out. We might even have you on the system already, and we'll get that sorted out for you. Nice little battle there in the end, though. Thank you very much to Ray as well for participating in that one. Right, let me see what I'm doing there. Let's hide the banner. Right, comments. Oh, God, honestly, too much going on this screen. There we go, hide current comment. Right, let me change it all over and see if I can do that without buggering something up. Here's one I've took a proper gamble on for tonight, but someone keeps reminding me I need to get rid of a few of these. So, one from the male collection. I'll tell you the full story behind this shortly. One bit I'm going to point out right away. This fish it's come out of a cold pond and it got very, very pissed off with us when it got in the bowl, and it did pink up quite a lot, unfortunately. It's settled down a lot now. So, yeah, we knew what it was, but I was amazed. It actually showed up quite a lot in the video. But what a powerful beast that one is. Comes with an original certificate as well. So this one got removed from that collection quite a bit early because I'd really trashed the head and made it quite yellow. And yeah, so we've been conditioning it. I probably should get the timer going before I get into all this anyway. At it again. Right, let's do that, eh? So, ladies and gents, 10-minute timer. The auction is now live on this one. Starting bid is £500 with an original certificate as well from so I've raised this from Tosai. I can't remember what it was. I did share it on the WhatsApp group. Let's have a quick look. It was 27 cm when I started out, now 60. So like I say, it's spent pretty much all of this summer in an outdoor pond for me to condition up the Shiroji, because I really had tanked it, and I've done the job. Absolutely. But this fish, trust me, is primed to get in a decent pond for next year and absolutely gun for it. And it really will. There's plenty more to come from this one. Should be more than possible to get this hitting that kind of 70 to 75 cm bracket in the right conditions. Mona Lisa Bloodline. Don't need to say too much more about that. The shows are just fantastic. It's been a slow developer, though. However, it is developing. The sumi that's coming up is incredibly thick. It's never going to be a really super heavily sumied fish. To be honest with you, you can see actually a lot more. This is why we do the side views. You can see a lot more going on down the flanks of the fish. Look, especially on this side now, it's really starting to progress upwards. But let's not forget Dainichi. We're talking 7 to 9 years old in that kind of range before they really consider a fish being finished. If we look at the kind of ages of fish that are winning big awards with theirs at koi shows, they are hitting that kind of bracket. Beast of a thing. Got the structure there. It just needs to put some more mass back on that frame. But honestly, I wish I'd taken a picture of this when I actually started conditioning it up and getting that Shiroji up. Yeah, bonkers. And price tag wise, this could really be nicked away for a steal at that kind of money for a 60 centimeter Dainichi fish. Other than that, guys, have we got any questions regarding it? It's always, we can get a bit of koi appreciation in on these as a bit of extra as well at the same time. Penny's looking fantastic. As you look down that look, it's got a really nice key, was fantastic. Sash is in a very good place, which I'd expect for the size and the age. That will become really ultra refined. Craig, no, it's not had much sumi fade on this one. Quite a little bit. And it's slowly been recovering, but it's actually from there. If we saw the picture, I don't know if I'm going to be able to share it that well. Let's have a look. Certainly on the head now, we can see the progress on the head's been amazing. That's not even that good, actually. Hang on. Oh, it's trying to pull me into focus. Look, let me get my face out. There we go. So you can see there the development. It has not been vast. There's actually been a bit of fallback. Looking, no, it hadn't at the back. I thought I'd seen it then, but the face development's been good. Motogoro development's been good. Rad, the conditioning process for this was quite easy. Get it out of a growing pond, stop firing colour food and growth food at it, and let it just recover in some good water. And that's exactly what it's done. Sort of bare minimal feeding as well in those ponds. It's just the outdoor ones with the towers, and then it's even had this winter. But it's took a fair chunk of time to get that heavy yellowing out, in all honesty. We're just about at the 6 minute mark with this one, ladies and gents. Then as for the rest of them, I think our next raffle fish might have to consider being one of these other lumps that I've got. So I've got a pond full of them that I seem to keep forgetting are there. I just enjoy feeding them every day and watching them still. So, God, I'm a nightmare, aren't I? But there we go. But yeah, I think I was on about the sash, you weren't at one point before I got distracted. Really, really nice and refined, but you'd expect it to be given the age that it's at now. You really see it on the video as well, which is hard to capture. There is that the luster and the shine on that one is absolutely mega. Craig's hoping that I raffle this one instead. Let's wait and see. Richard. Fish photos. That's actually, you don't even want to see my phone and fish photos. That was all off the WhatsApp group, them in there, buddy. That's where I was in. But my actual phone's even worse than that. But gotta be done. It's my job, look, mate. That's my excuse. Where we at with that one? Just under the 5-minute mark gone. Anybody fancying a snipe at 500 quid on that, which will be bonkers? If not, I think Craig's got a brilliant idea. If we don't get a bid, I will take this one to the first raffle over on the Koi online group. Jake, sorry, I can see there. He asked some questions in, mate. I don't typically like to do other questions, and this segment, Balance R, is more of a recovery-based food to normal sake. Would I keep it as a staple diet? No, I don't know what the difference in cost is, but it's there for a kind of certain purpose of high stress periods. Yeah. 4 minutes, ladies and gents. I'm doing a shocking job of actually marketing these in advance, because honestly at HQ at the minute, every day it's just chaos. There's that many different projects going on. Everyone's doing their own thing, crazy. And if I generally, it's me that forgets to get these bits done in time. So we're scrambling. At one point we'll be a bit more organized and probably have a bit of a bigger spread to put on as well. But at the minute, with all the channels we're popping stuff out on, there's, not easy. That being said, we've got about 30 fish recorded that we've got to get the pictures edited for the Koi online site, the website. Link to that's also in the description. So, yes, get yourself on there. Stay tuned. They're probably going to end up dropping at the weekend if we get it all done. And it's been absolute chaos on there. I think there's still only one fish available, because even all the last lot that went on sold out as quick as they were going on. Absolute madness. Just under 3 minutes remaining now on this one. Pierre, can't believe it's getting no bids. It can happen. Bigger fish especially. It's not always necessarily the price can be one thing, but bigger fish can tend to put people off. It's not what people are looking for. Our market is really dominated by Tosai, Nisai, and stuff like that, in all honesty. So anyway, great opportunity. Yes, Jake, they do fly out, mate. Yeah, I keep thinking it'll calm down every time we do it, but who knows? I think it's there's cracking value for money on all them as well. So it's just what we're trying to do with the growing that we do as well. It does allow us, and now passing that on directly to you guys as well, to get that value for money, which is something I'm really focused on with the methods and practices that we've got. 2 minutes, just under. I get a feeling I know where this is heading, unless someone sat there just going to absolutely nick it away at the end and destroy me. Yes, Craig, send it to the shop, mate. There we go. Get yourself in. And Dainichi, trust me, from what I've been seeing, you can't pick a Dainichi Tosai up that kind of quality, but that would probably be the weird bit. The demand for Tosai would probably be way higher than this at the age and kind of size that it's at, believe it or not. But that just tends to be the way that one goes. Had fun growing them, however, so no regrets in that respect. And learnt a lot. Don't forget, that's where this all started out for me. A learning process. Putting my money where my mouth was, really seeing how these fish developed over the time. It then became the Super Male project to see what we could do with them. And here we are at the end of it now. And nobody wants them. I'm crying myself to sleep. 54 seconds. Simon, would you be wasting your money paying for a good quality fish in an unheated pond? No, not whatsoever. You just got to realize it can it stay with you? Yes, sorry, overwinter until the end of March on this one. 30 seconds remaining. No additional charge for overwintering. No, you're not wasting your money. You've just got to be aware of the realities of how it will limit what you got. Oh, I knew it. There we go. 10, last 10 seconds. That's always how that one was going to go, weren't it? Oh. Craig's devastated. There we go, ladies and gents. That is a absolute steal there. I do love these auctions. It can go any way. It could have gone for a crazy sum tonight, or it goes like that. I love rolling the dice with it as well, to be fair. There we go. BP, yes, I hope that's a UK bid. If not, I'll be coming back to you, Alex. I probably should be clear about that one as well with everyone that we've got tuning in. Let's just get that banner rolling at BP. If you can get in touch on any of them platforms with us, we can get the details and get that one sorted out for you. And congratulations there on the biggest bargain in the koi world of 2025 so far. I don't even think I'm wrong at that, to be fair, but there we go. That's how it goes, guys. And yeah, you're there. Comment giveaway it is. You've got to be in it to win it, though, ladies and gents. You really have. And Craig, let me see what I can dig up, mate, to get a raffle going on the Koi Online. And let's get a couple going. Why not? Plenty of fish for it. Oh, there we go. Can go with the others. So it is a UK bid, Alex. Sorry, mate. Fantastic. Right, let me get them off. And we'll just have a few reminders on a few bits. God, honestly, this screen. I think I'm going to have to get one at lad static background doing all this for me, aren't I? Let's get that one. There we go. I'm back. There we have it. So there it is, ladies and gents. Hope you enjoyed that one. I probably don't need to recap too much on this one. Oh, look at that. Look, I forgot my top banner now. Doesn't look right. That's thrown me out big time. Oh, what a car crash. Yes, thank you to everybody who has tuned in. Look out for all that stuff coming. Any links that you want, you will find all there in the description. So that's all good. Actually, I think the calendar link, I'm not sure if they've actually sold out. I'll have to check that. Someone mentioned it was deactivated. So I will double check and stock check on that. If there is any more and that's the case, I'll update through the WhatsApp group on those. Other than that, stay tuned. New journal video dropping tomorrow with some updates and news on the Asagi grow out and just a general update on those Otsuka Asagi and the Kawashiros thrown into that one, not to ruin it all for you. And yeah, on Sunday, the full shebang on the appreciation video that you've watched the clips of that today. So yes, there we go. Simon's Fancy and the Yellow Monkey. Stay tuned, mate. Stay tuned. I'm sure we might be able to fulfill that one way or another. And yeah, congratulations to our winner again this evening on that one. So I'm going to show up now and get myself off and yeah, go and get some dinner ready for another absolutely chaotic day tomorrow and see how my new toy's doing. Thank you very much, guys. I will see you all next week.